I say, but you are so beautiful.
Thank you, as you are.
Thank you. It's my first time meeting you.
I know, we've been speaking, but we've never met.
Exactly. And sorry I couldn't call you myself. Busy schedule.
That's okay.
Sorry.
That's okay.
But girl, my goodness, a survivor?
Yes.
Who will know? I don't know how you've done it, but I know that when you tell your story, people get surprised that you did beat cancer.
Yes, I did.
Wow.
With God's help.
With God's help. I love that. And I love the strength that you have after beating it, because some people, even when they beat it, they still battle a lot of depression and they are never able to pick up the broken pieces and move on. But for you, you have moved on, and you've moved on beautifully.
Thank you. Yeah.
Let's talk about how it all happened. You know, for you, when were you diagnosed with it?
I was diagnosed several years ago. I was 29, which is, at that particular time, that's a very young age to be diagnosed with breast cancer. At the age of 29, you're not used to doing self-breast exams. I mean, you know about cancer and you heard about breast cancer, but you're not really aware of, the test, the examining yourself and all of that. And you certainly are not, at the age where you're expected to do mammograms.
Exactly.
So, life was going on well. I was thriving, running my businesses in New York, and suddenly found a lump in my left breast. And
how did you find it? Were you doing a self-examination or?
Not really doing an exam, but it was I just found it. A lump.
Yeah.
And I must say, breast cancer doesn't always have to be a lump. It starts as a very small cell.
Yeah.
But in my case, it grown to a lump the size of maybe, a large coin. And so I felt it, and I remember discussing with my family, and everybody was like, oh, it's probably a cyst, nothing major, because I have no family history of cancer or breast cancer.
Wow.
So I went in to see a doctor.
And you were 29?
Yes. I mean, I was fit, I was healthy, I was eating well, taking care of myself, I thought. So I went in and they did a needle biopsy, which I'm sure, with breast cancer going on, everybody knows what that is, where they put a needle into your breast and they take a small tissue out and they take it to the lab for testing. So they did that and went for testing, and 3 days later I got a phone call to come in for my results. And I went in, and as I always say, I'll never forget this moment because the doctor looked at me and said, how old are you? And she kind of rubbed me on my shoulder. And, up until then I thought it was nothing, but I went in and then she says to me, how old are you? And I said, 29. And she goes, I'm sorry to tell you, but your cells are malignant. You have cancer. So that's how it happened, and that time I'd gone in with my husband at the time, and I remember his knees buckled immediately. And I, from that moment, had to be the strong person,
Because he was even broken.
Yes. It was 3 months into the marriage at the time. So
No children at that
No, just starting life, And so, I remember the first thing I asked her was, the doctor was, okay, so I want to have a child. And she said to me, you dare not, because the younger you are, the more aggressive the cancer is. And, if you were to get pregnant, your hormones would go haywire and you would, probably die within 6 months, or the cancer will grow really rapidly. So, because cancer is associated with hormones sometimes, So basically that wasn't an option for me. So then I had to start researching and looking for oncologists and surgeons and, looking to see what my options were, whether I'm going to have a lumpectomy, a complete removal, which is a mastectomy. So all these options were thrown at me. It took about another 2 months doing a lot of research and talking to different doctors. Eventually, I had one doctor who wanted to take out the lump, but then another doctor saw me and looked at my results, and my milk ducts, the cancer was in my milk ducts. Okay, so it had spread laterally. So the chances of them being able to take that lump out and clear all the margins by taking all the cancer out was slim. So he said to me, you know what? I recommend you go for a mastectomy. And there are options of reconstruction and all of that, so I'll introduce you. He said he'll introduce me to his plastic surgeon. Right. So that's what I did. So basically I went in for surgery immediately. I think it was 2 months after the diagnosis. I went in for surgery, and I was in surgery for about 17 hours.
Huh?
Yeah.
For the mastectomy?
Yeah. Well, it was a mastectomy and also plastic surgery.
Implant, right?
Yeah.
They give you the implant?
No, I used my own body parts. I mean, they're removing something from me. Why would I put as far as I was concerned, why would I put a foreign...
So where did they get it? You use a fat from your body?
Yeah, it's called a tram flap.
Okay.
They cut me from stomach to stomach, from side to side.
Okay.
And they removed about this much skin and tissues and muscles and blood vessels and everything. So basically, they recreate a breast with that. Yes, they feed it through your chest, and they do a whole complete reconstruction. It's pretty major. Wow. Yeah. So did that, and then after that, during the surgery also they take out lymph nodes to test to see if the cancer has spread anywhere else in the body. So for me, they tested 24 lymph nodes, and 3 out of 24 were positive with cancer, which meant there was a possibility that the cancer could have spread somewhere else in the body. So for that reason, I had to have chemo. So I had chemotherapy, and for 6 months, I had intensive chemo for 6 months.
Even though you had done the mastectomy, you still had to go through.
Yeah, because it could be because it could be systemic. The cancer cell could have moved somewhere in the blood, especially with the lymph nodes being positive. So that's how it would travel, right? So then I went ahead and had 6 months of chemo, and then after that they wanted to put me on some more medication, and I refused to take anything else. At that point, they couldn't prove to me that having more medication would make me better off or prevent more, the cancer from coming back. So
when you started the chemo, 6 months into chemo, after that 6 months, you said that was it. You didn't want to do it again.
I felt with a lot of blood tests, etc. My cells were fine. Everything seemed to be okay. Though I wasn't cancer-free, I wasn't named cancer-free for another year, but there was the medication that were offering me really at that time.
You did research on it.
Yeah. The medication they were offering me, as I said, they couldn't prove to me that I would be better off. So at that point, I decided to reboost my immune system because the chemotherapy had broken me down completely.
Right.
Chemo, we don't know whether it's going to get all the cancer cells or not. But basically, chemo breaks. So what it does is it breaks down everything in your body, in your system. It kills both the good cells and the bad cells.
Yeah.
So you're very weak. Your immune system is very weak. So then I think that's when it's really up to us as patients. It's up to us to, educate ourselves about, nutrition and other, remedies, other things that you can do to strengthen your immune system. Because when your immune system is weak, that's when disease sets in.
That's true.
So, for me, I really truly believe that my immune system was weak. I was running around, running my businesses, opening, shops everywhere. And I think I was tired and I was totally run down. So, my belief is that cancer isn't everybody. I hate to say this, but, it's just a dormant cell that suddenly just decides to grow rapidly.
That's if you don't take good care of yourself.
Yeah.
So stress. I remember Monday when we had a conversation here, the lady that is a survivor as well, Elsie, did share her story of how she was in an abusive marriage.
Right.
And she also doesn't have history of cancer in her family. And she felt she had taken good care of herself.
I think I watched that. Yeah.
Yes. So for her, she never expected it. But maybe hers could also have been stress related. So we ought to take very good care of ourselves.
What we eat could be a factor. Our environment, what we breathe in, the water body, it could be stress, related to stress.
Yeah.
And of course, there's family history as well.
Family history.
Even though you may not know. So it's important that we talk to our family members to find out whether maybe somewhere down the line a great-grandmother or a grandmother has had cancer, even not even any type of cancer. It can manifest into breast cancer. So it doesn't just have to be a breast cancer, situation.
I really want you to help us get into how it was for you when you were going through the chemo session. Because we hear stories that is the most difficult part.
Right.
How was it for you?
Truthfully, I'm tough. Okay, so I don't know if I'd be the norm, but but basically, the chemo is when they inject, IV through you and medication through you. So for the first day or two after the chemo, I felt weak, nausea, a lot of nausea.
Okay.
So I felt weak and a lot of nausea. But after that, the first couple of days, I was fine.
Okay.
So I worked.
So you were working?
Oh yes, I went back to work. I took a couple of weeks off after the surgery, and And I think that's what kept me alive, because I had my businesses to run, and I had that's a lot to live for. And so I worked throughout the chemo. Yeah.
Did you lose your hair?
I had thinning, but I didn't have complete hair loss. Yeah.
Wow, you are very tough. Very lucky.
I'm blessed.
Yes, you are blessed.
Yeah, but most people do. Also, it depends on the medication they give you.
Okay.
Like adriamycin is very strong, for example, and you definitely have hair loss with that. Some others will thin your hair and you won't have complete hair loss, and some you go bald, completely bald. Yeah. So
after everything, so how long did you wait to go back to the hospital for them to tell you you're cancer-free?
Oh, it took another year.
Another year.
Another year of complete testing. I tested every 2 months, every 3 months. And then, you go in for your blood works and be tested. And that went on. And after a year, then they, if they couldn't find any more cancer cells or cancer in you, then they declare you as, you're in remission.
How did you feel when they told you that?
Fantastic.
No,
yeah,
I
fantastic.
know. Period. What was your family? Were they supporting you, your husband at that time?
Yes, incredibly supportive. My parents flew over. They were in London at the time, so my parents flew over. There's a lot of self-blame. My parents, did we do something wrong? I remember them going through that, my mom and my dad thinking, what could have possibly happened? Obviously, family history is, something. But there's nothing they could have done. Cancer can happen to anybody. Breast cancer can happen to anybody. It's a non-communicable disease. And, it's not contagious. It's something that you get. But in this part of the world, that's part of what we do, trying to educate people that, it's not it just shouldn't be taboo to talk about.
Right.
And it can happen to anybody. And, you just have to.
I think for most people that are diagnosed, their biggest problem is the fear of death. Did you have that? The
fear of the unknown, the fear of death. I thought when they told me cancer, you have breast cancer, my first thing was, what came to mind was, I'm going to die. I'm going to die, because that's what we think, right? When we hear cancer, I'm going to die. So that's when I asked the doctor, and I told the doctor I want to have a child, because I felt like, okay, if I'm going to die, at least let me, leave my child to my family, my legacy. So basically, that was my first thought. But you'd soon realize, and as I said, it is up to us. You have to educate yourself. If you're afflicted with this disease, you have to educate yourself. There's a lot of information out there. You can't just wait for somebody to give you info and tell you what to do. And also, when we talk to our doctors, we have to ask them as many questions as possible. Right. Is this treatment best for me? Why is it best for me? What are the results? What are the chances of it working? And you have to ask questions. And throughout the treatment as well, you have to, occasionally when you go in for your checkups, you have to discuss whatever treatment you're having. If you're having chemo, is it working?
Is it working?
Do we have to switch drugs? Okay. And if I'm feeling weak, maybe I have to take a break from the chemo. A lot of the time we're being bombarded with medication and, until.
We heard that, cancer cells also grow when you take in too much protein. So did you have to change your diet? And if you did, what diet were you on?
Well, I think what's most important is to eat organic, stay away from processed foods.
Right.
The corned beefs and the hams and all the sausages.
You can't eat all those ones.
The sausages, no. Even now, you try not to do that because it has a lot of preservatives in it, and all those are carcinogenic. So they're all cancer causing. So eat as much raw foods as possible. Fruits, vegetables, and I always say the three: the purple, the orange, and the green.
Okay.
Okay. Anything like that is really good for you. And if you can't consume a lot of it, you can juice it.
Okay.
So juicing is important. If you can juice it, and stay away from red meat.
Red meat,
yes,
right?
Red meat, and make everything else you eat organic. I cut everything out. I became a vegetarian for 5 years.
Wow.
I cut out all meat, and I cut out dairy.
Okay.
Dairy
so no
also.
Eggs?
Yeah, I cut out dairy, milk, cheese, eggs, butter, all that stuff. And there are alternatives. You can do almond butter, almond milk. So there's other alternatives. Some people do soy. So I cut all that out, and whilst I rebuilt my immune system, I cheat though. Now I've gone back.
You have to sometimes.
Yeah, something's got to kill you, you know.
Yeah.
So and also reducing your alcohol intake.
Right.
Yeah.
Were you able to take, rice and the wheat and the cereal?
Yes, I did.
You were able to take it,
I did. Obviously, another thing is processed foods again.
Okay.
White rice is not the best option for you.
So you had to go for the brown rice.
Brown rice is a better option, yes.
Okay.
Yes. Wow. Yeah.
I mean, my director asked me a question in my ear when you said, when you were told instantly you felt you were going to die.
Right.
I mean, how does it feel like thinking that I'm going to die? What were you? So did you prepare yourself that I'm going to make sure that this and this happens, because I could die the next few days? So.
You actually do. Some people, I remember thinking, I don't have a will, should I write my will? This is what my wishes. Yeah, I thought about all of that.
And then you started apologizing to God, you want to go to heaven, right? So God, if I've sinned, I want to be in heaven.
No, but that's the initial reaction.
Yeah.
But soon after that, I'm a fighter. So soon after that, I just sort of, once the doctors told me there was a chance of survival.
That was it?
That was it. There was
yeah. So do you have children now?
I do. I have two beautiful children.
Oh, that's
two
great.
Yeah.
So how many years later did you have your child?
3 years.
3 years?
Yeah,
okay.
3 years later. I waited for the chemo to be out of my system.
Okay.
So that I could have a healthy child, yeah. So yeah, and I had them naturally as well. Another thing, they wanted to freeze my eggs.
Okay.
Yeah, saying that after the chemo, it reduces your chances of childbirth. So once again, I said, no, I'll take my chances, and thank God I was able to have my kids naturally. Yeah.
And I bet when you got pregnant, the feeling,
Yeah.
How did you feel?
Incredible. I mean, yeah, there's nothing like being a mother.
Yeah.
It's the best thing I've done in my life.
Oh, that's sweet. That's sweet. So you've been cancer-free for how many years now?
Several years.
Several years, I like that.
Several
Dorothy's
years.
just like me. We are 25 years, so we understand. All right.
Several years, so more than 10 years. Yeah.
Wow, I'm so happy for you. I just, when I meet people like yourself who keep inspiring others that you can also do it.
Yeah.
It's just amazing.
Yeah.
And you have a work that you are putting together.
A lot we're doing, yes.
Yeah.
I mean, we've been doing this for 11 years. Dorothy's Hope Foundation has been in existence for 11 years in Ghana. And the way the whole thing started is I decided to turn my pain into purpose, and in 2014, I established Dorothy's Hope Foundation with the aim to educate and empower women who have the disease.
Yeah.
So we do a lot of outreach. We go all around different regions. We screen thousands and thousands of women. We collect data, which is important as well. And we do, we educate women about the disease, and men, some men too. Men get breast cancer too.
Yes, they do.
It's rare,
Yeah.
they do.
It's 1%.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. In Ghana, right now we're at 4,000 plus cases a year, and out of that, more than half of them actually don't make it.
Yeah.
Because we catch cancer at a very late stage.
Yeah.
Over 70% of people with breast cancer are diagnosed at a very, very late stage, some stage 3, stage 4.
What stage were you?
3.
Stage 3? That was late.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, but it was not obviously,
Yeah.
I mean, with what I've been seeing in this part of the world, you don't see it abroad.
Yeah.
And that's because, I don't know, but I mean, women, it's hard to understand why you leave your breast to become so diseased. We're dealing with women with huge, abscesses and,
And there's
it's
so much
bad.
pain.
It's bad, so much pain.
Yeah.
And that's because half the time they, for the fear of the unknown, and the doctors, sometimes the bedside manners of the doctors is not very kind. We're going to chop off your breast. There should be a better way to tell people if they have to have a mastectomy.
Yeah.
So these ladies will run away and go to, prayer camps and take
Spiritual doctors and all of that.
and all sorts, and take herbal remedies that don't work. And then, they come back when it's progressed, the disease has progressed, and usually it's too late. And I've seen a lot of death.
Yeah.
In the last few years in Ghana, I've seen a lot of death. So, our mission is to just keep on educating people about early detection. I'm a living example of it.
Yeah.
So early detection is key. And when you are, diagnosed with breast cancer, you have to take charge of your life and be, and just follow, follow the healthcare.
Very important.
Yeah.
Dorothy, sharing your story with us is amazing, I must say, because you beat it, and we look at you and we can't even tell that you have ever been diagnosed with breast cancer. I mean, when you opted the vasectomy, you knew you were never going to breastfeed.
I did with my other breast.
You did?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I did.
That's nice.
I did.
So you breastfed your 2 children?
I did for a very short time. The second one didn't have much of it. I was like, okay, enough, because it's a lot for one, to be working with one breast.
Yeah.
But yeah, I did breastfeed my kids. Yeah.
You are definitely, you were forced to reckon with. So this walk that is happening, when is it happening?
Okay, so we have a few events this year, this October.
Okay.
The first one is a walk, which you're coming to, right?
I am coming. It's the date again?
It's October 11th.
Okay.
The Saturday.
Is this
Yes,
Saturday?
it's Saturday.
Yes.
So we're going to walk from Cantonment's post office all the way through town, Usu,
Okay.
up the highway.
I'm going to be there. I promise you.
Please be.
Yes, I will.
We're going to walk all the way to the AMA building in Accra, where we have a whole setup. We have a whole clinic set up. We'll have doctors from St. Michael's Hospital and, other healthcare professionals there. We're going to have Ghana, the blood bank of Ghana as well. They'll be there as well. For the first time, we are actually, requesting that people stop by and donate blood. And the blood is being collected specifically for breast cancer patients.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Specifically, because very often we run out of blood for them.
Right.
So so Kolibu will do that, and then all day long we're going to be screening. So there'll be full health screening, but especially breast cancer screening.
Okay.
Yeah. So we're going to do that, and then on the next Sunday, on the 19th of October,
Right.
we have a tennis tournament to also create awareness, health as well, to create awareness about breast cancer. We'll have some survivors there telling the stories. We'll have certain dignitaries there. We'll have, a lot of people there and some celebrities there as well to participate, to create all this hype and awareness about breast cancer. So that's on Sunday next week. That's, I can see
That's it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's happening at the Sunday, 19th October, 8 a.m. to 6 p.m.
Yes.
Even if you don't play tennis, you can be there.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. So it's not for just tennis lovers, because we are raising awareness about breast cancer. Dorothy, thank you so much for being here. And thank you for doing this as well.
Thank you.
I can only imagine the number of people watching us today that have been inspired by your story and also are going to get free breast cancer screening and for the blood donation. God bless you for that.
Thank you.
Yes, because it's something that, until you get there, you never know how important it is to get blood.
Yeah. Early detection is key. I keep saying
Early
it's so
detection
important. And in fact, we're actually implementing a program starting January where we're creating we're using containers, we're converting them to screening centers all over the country.
Wow.
So that's a big project, because I believe that when you make it accessible, these places accessible to people, they're more likely to go in and be screened and tested. Yeah.
Dorothy,
thank you for having me.
You're welcome. Give Dorothy a round of applause. I love strong women, and I hope to see you on Saturday. So where do we convene from?
Cantonment's Post Office.
Cantonment's Post Office, 6 a.m.
Registration is from 6 to 7, and we kick off at 7, so don't be late.
So don't be late. Let's all gather there and embark on this great walk.